Hello folks, in the I'm getting too old for this shit file, I've been challenged once again to a fight by someone who probably has no intention whatsoever of going through with it and is just making blustering noises. Yeah, it's silly. It is silly, I admit it. But in my defense, this bully by the name of David Richardson tried to get a heavily armed lunatic calling himself Archangel Michael to come out and murdered my entire family. I made a video about it on YouTube here. He's made fun of the fact that my wife died a long and painful death of cancer frequently, and he does things like talk about sexually assaulting my daughter. Okay, so yeah, I can deal with a little bit of silly if it gets me, into the ring with him. Now, he is a bully, and bullies are cowards, and bullies go after people they think are safe. I kind of made it known that I signed a keppon in Japan, that's an oath, and the stipulation was I would not issue challenges to other people. Besides, issuing challenges is kind of so 7th grade. But yeah, so my honor basically says that I am not allowed to issue challenges to other people, which told David Richardson that he was safe to say whatever he wanted to. If he said what he did about my wife to most people, he'd be spitting teeth up for all over the ground. But again, he was counting on the fact that I would not call him on carpet. However, his team, because he hangs out with frauds, crazies, and people that rape children, made a mistake. One of them tried to set a definition, say Don challenges people because he does this. Well, I reject the definition they have. And most people would say, no, that's BS, that's not a challenge. But if they're going to use that, I'm holding to it. I'm going to put out a blog on my website, ColoradoSpringsNinjutsu.com, this Friday, with quotes, laying everything out, laying out what they said, what David Richardson did that is exactly by their definition of challenge, and just lay it out. The problem with my blog is that the template I can work with does not have any comment section. YouTube here does, so down here. So if you want, anyone can chime in and we can keep the negotiations open. But yes, by their definition, what David Richardson did to me was a challenge. And I understand that's kind of like a cute lawyer trick, but I'm looking for a loophole. I've been bound, I've been restricted by this oath, and now I've got a loophole that says that he challenged me. Okay, I'm going to take it, unless he backs out, which it looks like he is. So again, now he's trying to say that I challenged him and that he gets all these conditions, and it's basically, it's kind of like, when a cat runs up a tree and says, "Hey, you coward, come up and get me," to the dog. Just an example, one of the conditions that he said is that win or lose, we have to shut down Bullshit Martial Arts. It's a Facebook group that has put people that rape children behind bars. And he says, win or lose, it has to be shut down. And I'm like, no, okay, no, that's not a good condition. First of all, I'm not the owner of the group. I'm like the second level of an administrator. So that's not going to happen. And of course, he's going to say, well, if you're not going to do that, then you're just trying to back out. He's also kind of saying, okay, it's got to be in California. Well, as a challenge party, I think that, he needs to come to me. But, again, as I said, it's kind of like a cute lawyer trick. So let's start the negotiation. Again, there's comment section down here, stuff like that. Let's put aside the fact that, okay, let me just point out, for years, David Richardson has been saying that he's wanted to fight me, that I'm a coward, that he would beat me, blah, blah, blah. Well, regardless of who challenged who, I'm giving you a chance. I'm giving you a chance to prove it. Are you going to try to wiggle out of it with BS conditions or setting things up so that I can't go through with things? And one of the things that I can't go through with is dragging my kid along. I am a single father. I have a responsibility for my kid. I am not going on the road and dragging him along to California or wherever, just because, and David Richardson knows this. He has made fun of it. He goes, oh, Don Roley hides behind his kid. No, it's not hiding behind my kid. After the vile things that David Richardson has said about my family, the things he has done, no one has a right to be mad at me for what I'm about to say. David, if you're watching this, okay, I know your mother's name is Dolores. I know she had a lot of kids. You live with your brother. But I can't recall one single mention or picture or anything of your father. I suspect that you and Dolores do not know who he is. And I'm pretty certain that you were not raised around within a household with a strong male figure at its head. And it shows. You just don't realize maybe that for a real man, the kids come first. So yeah, when I say I'm not dragging my kid along, hey, that's just the way it is, because I'm not going to get in the car and drive around with this virus, for one thing. So yeah, so I say Colorado. Now again, leaving aside the fact that, you challenge me, or if you want to say I challenge you, whatever, let's put it aside. Okay, what's keeping you in Los Angeles? I mean, you don't got a job, you don't have any magic acts, you spend 16 hours a day just posting things on Facebook, making videos, stuff like that. You've got the time. You don't have kids, thankfully. You've never been married. You don't have a sweetheart right now. So why should the guy that actually works and has a responsibility and stuff like that has to go out to you? What is preventing you from coming out here? Again, comment section. Go ahead, lay it out here. If you don't give me a good enough reason, then lay it out exactly so everyone can see. We'll talk this out. One thing that you might be using an excuse to not come out here is that you've tried to say that when people show up to me, I call the cops. Well, I think you're projecting. I think that's what you're planning on doing if I ever meet you. But I'll point you to a video here on YouTube of when Ron Collins showed up to my seminar with a few members of the Black Dragon Fighting Society. Did I call the cops? No. I got out on the mat and waited for Ron Collins to step out so we could deal with each other. Instead, much like you, he turned tail and ran. So yeah, again, the whole thing that I call cops on people doesn't hold water, but let's deal with the issue. If you think that you might get into legal problems coming out here, okay, I suggest we keep everything above board, in the open, comment section on YouTube, things that can be downloaded, let's say you show up to Colorado and I do call the cops on you. If you've downloaded videos like this, put it on a USB drive and take screenshots, print out the stuff that I said, just, being invited out to Colorado. You can show that to the cops, and again, that you'll be safe. It sounds reasonable to me. As long as we keep everything above board so everyone can make copies, that just show it later on. And again, so that's right there. I think that's pretty good. But if that's not enough for you, if you still think that the cops, I'll call the cops, I'm going to ask you something. As I said, I think you're projecting in that if I ever face you, you're going to try to call the cops and get all your friends to tell the police that I stalked you and cross straight lines, whatever. I think that's what you plan on doing for me. Tell me what protections you were going to set up to protect me from you doing that. Tell me, put it here in the comment section, and if they're reasonable, we can incorporate them, we can negotiate. This is what people do. We negotiate, okay? I realize September 13th is probably may not be a good day for you, so it's flexible. If you want legal protection, we can talk about how that can go on. And let's be reasonable. As for the rules, well, I'm leaning more towards what I offered Ron Collins, and you can see that on the video. Whatever it is, it's going to be something that really is going to hurt the loser. Really hurt the loser. And cover the winner, both sides, from any legal action later on. And yeah, I'll be getting lawyers and stuff like that to put together things. We'll have to videotape ourselves saying, yeah, we know the risk we're going into and we're going into it anyways, things like that. But again, here we go on YouTube. We can start the negotiation. It's in your court, David Richardson. Let's make this happen.